Hello, 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 and welcome. What in the world is going on? I am here. I am here. So I've been sitting here, just plugged in, doing things, and all of a sudden, when I, tap the song, it's like when it was time to come on, it was blank. I don't know what happened, what's going on, but I am here. I am here. Happy Wednesday, everybody. How are you guys? In the chat, we had Miss Linda and Miss Jerlene. They were in here last night, I think. They said hello. So sweet, so cool. I love that. Lakeisha, I guess they say Lakeisha's not going to be the first one here today. They came in last night, so that is so fun. I love that. So we have Lakeisha. How are you? Happy Wednesday. We have Felicia. How are you, Felicia? Happy Wednesday. Okay, who else do we have in here? Mel to the B. Happy Wednesday. We have Z. Hi, Z. How are you? We have Linda's Journey. There she is. Hey, Linda. We have Simply Taisha. She says, Happy Wednesday. Oh, that's me. I was trying to refresh my screen. Okay, let's see. Did I miss it? 2.0 mommy, how are you? Hello, hello. You're walking while your dinner bakes. We love that. Bobby, how are you? Dr. Bobby. She's saying her hellos. I just love when you guys say hello. All right, very good. So let's get started. I'm gonna work on these lights. I don't know if you guys ever been live, but it's doing something somewhere, but it's just no joke. You just never know what's gonna happen. So I'm excited. I'm excited today to be here on a happy Wednesday. Today I'm going to be talking about, let's find our topic here. So we're going to be talking about the Dexa scan. I don't know if you guys remember. That was something, well, I'll have to get my other notes in a second. But I want to talk about the Dexa scan because, since I took that Dexa scan, it just changed the way I've been thinking about, my weight loss journey. It's changed the way I'm thinking about, myself on the scale with the scale. Like I'm not really looking at the scale the same. And so, I just kind of want to share a little bit more and talk about that. And then we're going to have like a little guest come on I only have taken one DEXA scan. So I'm going to have somebody to come on here who has, she's very passionate about this DEXA scan and she's had more than one DEXA scan. So I'll have something to compare my DEXA scan to. But she's going to come on here. I think she's taken 3 DEXA scans. So she'll be able to show you the results of her DEXA scan. She's also been on a GLP-1. So I'll reveal that person in a second. And I just wanted to show you guys, my little shirt today. Can you see that? It's my Nike shirt. And I have on my Nike shirt because my message is if you can get this scan, just do it. Just do it. So I wanted to get that message out. And I will tell you, before I get into the DEXA scan, I'm just going to briefly, for those that, might be wondering, like, why would we even bother to get a DEXA scan? Why would we spend our money on a DEXA scan? Well, I'm going to talk about the importance of a DEXA scan because I was a non-believer. When people were talking about this DEXA scan, I saw some content creators and I just thought, I don't need to know what's going on with my bones. And my doctor also, when I, asked her about the DEXA scan, she said, your bones are fine. Turns out she was right, but she just was that's all she focused on was the bone density. And I'm going to tell you other things that the DEXA scan will let you know. And then I'll tie it into how it has, changed the way I'm looking at, approaching my lifestyle change on the GLP-1. And, I'm really cool with my DEXA scan guy. It's so funny because you can sign up for a consultation there, to really deep dive into your results. And I had questions after, because, after I, shared my DEXA scan results in my video, people were asking questions. And so I was like, let me ask my DEXA scan guy. I want to say his name is Brian. So I said, let me ask Brian. I don't know. Maybe I should look and see what his name is before I start saying his name, and it's not even him. But so I said, let me ask him, what he thinks about this. And so I took some notes and I left them in my purse. So I'm going to go get my person and refer to my notes so I can get it right, because I had some follow-up questions. And so I just want to share with you guys, before we start, I want you to let me know in the chat if you have had a Dexa scan. So if you have had a Dexa scan, type Dexa. If you have not, just type no. Okay, so if you've had a Dexa scan, type in Dexa, and if you have not, just type no. Let's see. Now, when I refresh my screen, so I'll give you guys a chance to share that in the chat. If you're watching the replay, or if you're watching now and you're just not in the chat, you know, I want you to kind of follow along with our chat when you can. If you have more than one Dexa scan, I also would love to know that too. If you've had more than one. Okay, let me go get my notes from from Brian. I think that's his name. Okay, all right. So, I see many Dexa scans. Jeez, Louise. So I love this title. This title says, "Don't trust the scale until you see this." And I love that title because I think that is so true. You know, what we're going to talk about tonight, I hope it encourages someone to get a Dexa scan or either get a follow-up Dexa scan, because I really do think it was super helpful for me on my journey. And I'm excited to get the follow-up. So let's see what the people in the chat are saying. I see some new faces. Beverly, Mary, I see. I was going to be really loud like normal, but my daughter's trying to get to sleep. So I see Mary. I see, who else came in? Healthy Spirit Podcast. Beverly, that's right, Beverly, yes. Okay, so let me see what you guys are saying. So the question was, have you ever had a Dexa scan? Type Dexa if you have in the chat, and just simply no if you have not. All right, so Bobby, she's had a Dexa scan. Okay, Lakeisha says no. Felicia says no. Males to the B says Dexa, yes. Simply Taisha, yes. Mary, yes. Okay, Beverly says no. Taisha's had many Dexa scans. Okay, just male has more than one. Just one Dexa. Okay. Jill says 2.0 mommy, no, but she would. Okay, no bone density scan. So no bone density scan. Okay. All right. Mary says 3. Mary, you've had 3. All right. Working out, so I can't chat much, but I've had my 4th Dexa scan. Yes, and I want to encourage you guys to go watch Healthy Spirit Podcast video about her Dexa scan, where she breaks it down and she shows those biceps. That's enough to encourage you to go. I don't have like a, I don't have like, what's a what do you call it, biceps like hers, but I'll get there. I will get there one of these days. I've done a bone density scan. Okay, very good. I love that. A bone density scan. Good job, Bev. You've also had a bone density scan. Very good. Okay, very good. Look at Lakeisha with that beautiful profile pic. Okay, so really quick, before I bring, I just want to talk about, back to the topic here. I want to stay focused here because I do have a guest, and I realize it's 8:32. I'm starting a half hour later now. So I want to be really conscious of the time. So, but I just want to bring the conversation back to the scan. So let's talk about what a Dexa scan is. And, I love the way people said I had a bone density scan. And the reason why I would say get a Dexa scan, I don't know if it's considered one and the same, but a Dexa scan tells you more than just your bone density, which, I was curious about that. But the thing that I wanted to know is, am I losing muscle? And, while I'm losing weight. So I'm down 68.8 pounds. This is my 14th month on Mounjaro. And what have I, so I have 14 months, I've lost 68.8 pounds, and I'm taking Mounjaro, and I wanted to know, like, am I losing muscle? But I've lost slow and steady over time. And so I just did my average of, weight loss per week, and the average is over 1 point is what I would think when I say it was 1 point something. So I'm like a little over a pound a week I average, which is great, right? Which is great. And so I just was listening to someone today who said that they were losing 3 pounds a week, and then now they're only, not, they didn't say only, but now they're losing 2. And they said it as if that was like, not good. And I'm thinking that's great. Like 3 pounds a week is awesome, but 2 pounds a week is amazing too. Especially the longer you're on there, you're just not going to keep up those huge numbers over time. Most people that I've heard. Now, of course, there's always exceptions to every rule. So that was my interest, really. And then, there was a shocking thing. I don't know if you guys watched the video, and I'm not going to just rehash the whole video, but I do want to share some things about this GLP-1 journey as it relates to my Dexa scan. So for people who don't know, a Dexa scan is it reminds me of like the MRI. If you've ever had one of those, that imaging machine you go under, it's low dose, a low dose X-ray you get, but it measures your whole body. And primarily it measures your bone density, is used to diagnose osteoporosis and if you have like a fracture risk. So at my Dexa Scan facility, athletes go there. A lot of the athletes go there, because, they're assessing those fractures. And I think, a lot of the football players and stuff, when they get injured, they go there to get the scan. So that's pretty cool. So when I, realized that, I was like, I'm in good hands here. So there's a more detailed explanation. It measures the amount of calcium and other minerals in your bones, including bone density and strength. But this is the reason why I went to get the Dexa scan, is because it measures your body composition, including your fat and muscle mass. And that is what I was interested in. And I know, Simply Taisha talks a lot about, maintaining, your muscle mass and maintaining, good bone density in her videos. And, she shows her exercising. And then 2.0 Mommy has also been talking a lot about the importance of strength training and keeping your bones and your muscle, and just having just a healthy whole body makeup, not just losing the weight. Like, we want to lose the weight, but we don't want to lose weight at the sacrifice of some other important things, which is our muscle mass and our bone density. So, that's one of the best reasons why, you might want to invest, because it's an investment, and get that scan. So I don't know if you guys can see this, but I'll just quickly go over, my results here. So if you can see, my lean muscle mass was at 8.6. And it was above average. So that is great. That is great. I was excited about that. And so I don't have anything to compare it to. But when I talked to the guy, he said, in order for you to have lost a lot of that, you would have, he said, you already had a lot. You didn't really probably lose a lot because you're already up there. So that made me feel good, because I was wondering, like, okay, how much did I have before? So there's no technical way to know that, because I don't have anything to compare to. So we can see how much I maintain, or, over time when I go back in August. And then your fat, here's the second one that says 19.5. That's my fat-free mass. It takes into account my total lean mass in relation to my height. So that is you can see above average, right? That's above average. That's in that above average rate. So those two things were great, right? Those two things were great, and they were above average. So I love that. So I'm trying to maintain that. Now, if you look, I didn't include this. You'll have to go back and watch my video, but my actual bone mineral content, and I'll, let me see, my actual bone mineral content, let's see, I'm trying to remove this. Okay. They told me how much my bones weigh. And I was like, what in the world? Now, who can just in the chat, give me a guess. How much do you think my bones weigh? And if you watch the video, you probably know. You probably don't remember though. But how much do you think a person's bone weighs? Now, let me tell you my weight. I weigh how much do I weigh? 237 point something. I forget. I want to say I weigh 237.6. I can't remember. But so let's just say I weigh 237 pounds. So how much do you think my bones weigh? Oh, what do you guys think? Okay, we got 2 guesses. Anybody else want to take a guess? Ew. Okay. So T, I can see you're taking those DEXA scans. Ah, let's see. Let's see. Okay, so it's so we got a couple guesses. Okay, okay. And I was shocked when I got the weight of my bones too. I was like, what is that? Okay, so we got some guesses. So okay, hey Sandra, I see came in here, my other weight loss twin. Okay, so Simply Taisha says 6.3. Mel says a 5.8. Healthy Spirit Podcast, Tia says a six or between a 6 and a 7. Bobby says, I don't remember, but I know your bones weigh more than mine. I wish I had your bone density. Yes, yes, yes. Uh, hers, Taisha said hers is 5'7". Okay, 5.7. 9, okay, maybe less. You are shorter than me. Okay. Val says 7. Bellflower, my other weight loss twin, she says 10. And Jill 2.0 mommy says 5. Well, some of you were in the right range. If you know, the closest one I want to say may have been I don't know if you guys do it technically by a game show, you can't go over, but it was 6.2 pounds. It was 6.2 pounds. My total bone mass from my entire body. I was like, geez Louise. So, you know, your bones, you know, you would think they would weigh more than that, but they actually don't. So everything else in there is what's taking up all that space. All right. So then they give you a T-score, and which is like your whole DEXA scan, you know, then when you take everything into consideration, it says pay attention to your total body T-score more than your total body BMC or your BMA, which is, you know, I don't even know. Well, let me see what the BMC is. Does anybody know what that BMC means? I'll look that up. But it says pay attention to your T-score. So your T-score is how your bone density compares to the average young adults in your gender, right? So the rest of the females. So all the females in my you know, that's healthy, right? Taking that consideration. My T-score was a 330. And so they say to be in the excellent range, the scale goes from negative 2.5 and mine went up to 1.5. And so I'm way past that 1.5. I'm like doubled that. So that is so awesome. I feel like I am in good shape. I feel like I have some stuff to lose. Besides weight, right? I could give a little there. But what was not good though was my visceral fat. So I don't know if you guys, and I always joke and say, you know, I didn't have to go to Dexa Scan to realize I had a lot of fat. I could just look at this belly and I could kind of told them that. But exactly to pinpoint how much, now I would not have known that. So my fat, and so that didn't really interest me as much because I knew it was up there. But my fat on they have this scale, and it's 0.5 to 2. If you really want to see it, go back and watch that video. But my fat was at 3.13. So I am like 128% over my peer group, right? So I really have a lot of fat that I need to knock off this belly, thighs, and wherever else it is on my body. And so because I had that lean muscle mass that had such an excellent score, and my bone density had an excellent score, because my fat was not so excellent, it averaged me out to a C, right? It averaged me out to a C minus. So I'm going to show you guys that. I don't know if you can see that. Here's my C minus. You guys see that? I don't think I've ever gotten a C minus. What is up with that? Okay. And then if you see my overall score here, I took this on April 2nd of this year. My overall score, I told you, was a C minus. This is what shocked me. I was 234 pounds at the time I went. When I got on my scale that morning, I was at a 241 point something. So I just said, geez, Louise, I had to call him up and say, why am I so far off, like a 7-point difference from my scale to this DEXA scan? You can see my lean mass is 111 pounds. My body fat, half my body is fat. My visceral fat was at that 3.1. My total T-score was a 3.3. So my total T-score is excellent, right? Taking all things into consideration, but I still have, because it falls into this excellent range, but I still have a lot to, a fat to lose. So that's the lesson. So I didn't just stop there though. I was like, I want to know what my resting metabolic rate was. So I got that test, and that's extra. I do weigh myself with no clothes on. Yes, I do weigh myself with nothing on. But at the Dexa scan, I even had on clothes, right? I wasn't on the Dexa scan with no clothes on. So yeah, so I don't know. So I will tell you what he said in a minute, Taisha, what he told me to do. But I called him back because I'm like, what is up with this? So anyway, so I got that RMR, and when I got the RMR, you sit there, and I have a picture of myself on the video. He was gonna like film me and everything, and I just was like, I'm not that interested in all that. But I did take pictures of myself with this, because they put the mask on and all of that. And my daughter saw that; she was so spooked out by it. But I felt like Garrett Morgan. I don't know if you know who that is. He invented the gas mask. And so I felt like him. I felt like that whole thing with the mask on and all of that. Let me make sure I said the right person. But yeah, he's one of my favorite inventors. But anyway, so I sat there and I was just thinking like, geez, Louise, like this test, it was pretty quick, but you sit and you're relaxed and all of that. So, but it basically tells you how many calories you're burning at rest. And I'm burning 1572. So 1,572, which is not great either. That's not great. And I pay extra for that test. Like that doesn't come with the Dexa scan, but it was totally worth it. I'm glad I did it in hindsight. So you might be saying, okay, so what does all this mean? Well, for me, when I got my results, of course, my goal is to keep that muscle mass and my bone density in the excellent range, like I have it now. And so my goal is to maintain that while losing fat. So I want to, if anything, add muscle and gain or gain muscle, add muscle, and I want to lose that fat. And I'm not going to be able to do that if I don't eat more, right? Because right now he told me I'm eating too low of the amount of calories. And how does he know? Because of my RMR, which is 1,572. And you can see they wrote slow. And if you look and see, I don't know if you guys can see the picture that they put there, but it says they thought I would be burning 1,700 calories while just at rest. Like talking to you guys right now, I should be burning at least 1,700. Well, I'm only burning 1,572. So that was kind of an eye opener for me. So I thought, well, what am I going to do about this? So he told me that basically I have been putting my body in starvation mode. Let me take 2.0. I have our number 5 up here. Let me take this off so people can see the whole screen. I'm sorry. Let me take this banner off too, so you can see the screen. So I really wanted to talk about this because if you've been following my journey, you know that I am increasing my calories. And I know some people have even said on my comments, like, don't do that, Downsizing Diva, you're going to gain weight. Last week, I had started, adding calories. So I was at around, I always say 1590, but so I started at 1590, right? So I started saying, 16, sometimes I say 1600, sometimes I say 1500, anywhere in between 15 and 1600 is what I was eating. But I started saying I was going to add, my calories, because he told me that ideally I should be eating 2,000 calories. And he told me to really boost up my resting metabolic rate, I need to eat 2,400 calories. He said that is ideal. And I said, are you kidding me? Because I could not see myself eating that many calories. So I called him back even about this because I thought, what in the world is going on? Why, are you sure I should be eating these many calories? And he told me, yes. He told me that there was a study done during World War II. And so I kind of looked that up, and and he was right. And the study basically was looking at people who were not eating, like they were deprived of food and they weren't eating, they didn't have access to food. And they found that your body is in starvation mode when you are consuming 1,500 calories or less. Now, that was years ago, right? And so now the thought has changed that you're not in starvation mode if you're at 1,500 calories, but more when you're, below that, right? So starvation mode, it's when, your body is consuming significantly fewer calories than it needs to maintain its normal functions. And that's why you hear people who say, I'm so tired, I'm so fatigued, they're having a hard time just doing their day-to-day functions. We don't ever say they're in starvation mode, but that's really what they're doing to their body. The exact number of calories that triggers starvation mode varies depending on, your age, your sex, how active you are, your body composition. However, it's generally accepted. Now, I know people out there are going to say, oh, no, my doctor said it's this, and that doctor said it's that, and Harvard study said this. But it's generally accepted that consuming less than 500 to 1,000 calories per day for an extended period of time can lead you to a starvation mode. And I know for a fact, so many people, I don't know for a fact, I'm going by what people say. The stuff that people have told me that they were eating is not adding up to over 1,000 calories. I've had some discussions with folks, and I'm like, that's all you ate for today? And then also people have said in these lives, I can only get like 800 calories in. Well, your body is in starvation mode. So, you should be thanking goodness that your hair's not falling out, your nails aren't crumbling and, so soft they break as soon as you touch something. Like all those things, your body needs nutrients to survive. And so I will give myself credit. One thing I have not done is starved myself on this diet. On this GLP-1. And, and I don't know, I don't have an issue with saying diet. I know people don't want to say that word, or lifestyle, whatever you want to call it. I don't care if it's a lifestyle, if it's a diet, if it's an eating plan. I have been eating. I have not starved myself. And so I'm giving myself credit for that because it's easy to do, right? When you just don't feel like, you're hungry, but to have yourself to eat because you don't want to be in starvation mode. So it's important to note that starvation mode, I'm just going to say, is dangerous, it's unhealthy, it can lead to problems. We talked about, being fatigued. I hear that a lot. People are very tired, being weak, having nutrient deficiencies, and it can even lead to organ damage. And we should know that from people who have eating disorders, right? Basically, that's what ends up happening. Therefore, I want you, and anybody will tell you, that's giving you advice with these GLP-1s, or they should be telling you to always consult with your healthcare professional, before you change or just reduce that diet, all the calories down. Like when you're reducing them down, you really, really need to be working with a nutritionist, a dietitian, a doctor. And so we don't want to be in starvation mode. Absolutely not. So how many calories should we be getting? So how many calories do you need to stay out of that starvation mode? You need at least 1,200 calories per day. And they say that's the minimum that you should be getting, the minimum amount for your bodily functions, how to stay out of that starvation mode. But that amount is actually too low, because how many times have we heard that people are saying they're eating by about 1,200? That's too low. A healthy amount of calories for adult women, so that would be, a lot of us here, is from 1,800 to 2,400, which is what the Dexa Scan guy told me, right? 2,400. For men, it's even more than that. It's 2,000 to 3,200 calories per day. So you have to take all that, taking all that into consideration. That's the minimum amount that we should be eating. Now, you guys might have been like me, like, are you kidding me? I said to the Dexa Scan guy. And so I upped my calories. So I went up about 300 calories, that week. After Dexa Scan, I was working on it. So I've just kind of slowly went up. At first, I thought, when I walked out of there, I thought, oh, I'm going to be eating 2,000 calories. Like, this is no brainer. But it's not that easy. It's not that easy on these GLP-1s. Now, when you're eating healthy and when you're making great dietary choices, it's not that easy. If you're eating McDonald's and Kentucky Fried chicken and, all these fast foods. Yeah, you can get 1,800 calories in just, a sandwich and fries. But when you're eating healthy, it's not that easy to do. And I'm sure you guys can attest to that. So it's kind of like you have to be strategic, you have to be planned, you have to be prepared, and you have to put in work. And so that's what I have been doing. That is my goal. My goal is to get up to that 1,800 calories and eventually maybe 2,000. And so if I find myself that I'm not losing, I'm just going to like up my exercise a little bit more. And so, I'm exercising 3 to 4 times a week, and I could, I don't even really want to add another day. I think I might want to add time. So like I do a Taibo, probably a 25-minute workout, I'll just add it. And I would probably, for me, I would think, because once I'm in it, right? So I can even add like 20 more minutes. So instead of doing that shorter workout, I could do a longer workout. So there's some things that I could do to help myself with this whole Dexa scan and adding the calories and all of that. So, the message I want to, get out to you guys is I would have never known this had I not taken a Dexa scan. My doctor, she goes by that scale and that's it. Now, I told you, if you remember, the day I went to Dexa, I weighed 241 on my scale. When I weighed in on Dexa, with their scan, they take into, everything into consideration, your bone density, your fat, your muscle mass. I was a 234. So that's a 7-point difference. So I called up Dexa and I said, "Hello, Mr. Brian." I said, "Is there a reason why? Is this typical that my scale would be 7 pounds off? Should I just throw that scale out? It's a Renfo scale." And he said, "No." He said, "I'm an outlier. Usually," he said, "it's a 1 to 5 pound difference that they notice where the scans aren't as accurate." And so he said, "Don't throw your scale out, change the batteries." And he said, "Just use that as a benchmark because that's what I've been using this whole time." And so I did change the batteries. I didn't know it. I could have kept the ones I had in there. It was the same way. But I changed the batteries like he advised me to do. And he just told me to go with that. And when I come to Dexa for the follow-up, that's going to be my real weight. And so I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. So, it's like I get on there. So now I feel like if I get on the scale and it says more, I'm thinking in my mind, I'm really 7 pounds lower than what this scale is telling me I am. So that's going to make me feel good whether I lose or not. So, and I don't know that there's an accurate scale. They say the Dexa is like the gold standard of telling you information about your body, so that body composition. And I know years ago it was like people would debate it, but now it's like known as the gold standard. And so I pay, because I know people probably want to know this, I pay 100. My Dexa scan was 185. They had a 10% off coupon. And then I got the package. So it was like a package deal. So it came with the metabolic rate, and it also came with like a follow-up scan. So I paid a total with that 10% off. The total I paid was, I want to say 290. I want to say 290. It wasn't 270. Maybe it was 270. So I paid 270, and so I got those three things. So now if I want to add another, I'll pay another $86 when I go back, and so unless he gives me a discount or I referred people, so unless some kind of way I have a discount, I'll be paying another $86 because I also do want to get that RMR. So which is the resting metabolic rate. So I want to be able to compare that and see. So, we'll see how I do. My goal in July, it's my birthday month, and I want it to be 100 pounds down. Well, because I'm adding calories, I'm still going to lose. But, I was like, is that goal out of sight, out of mind? So I don't know, but you know what? I shouldn't say don't care, but I'm not really worried about it because, I'm in this for the long haul, and the long haul is not a race to 100 pounds. The long haul is to slim down slowly over time, to not have so much hanging skin, which I'm also, I think, doing a good job because I have lost slowly. I don't really, what's hanging has been hanging. It's probably going to be hanging. But I don't feel like I have excess of anything hanging all around yet. The most hanging stuff I have that's out of character is like my neck here, know if you can see, but my little neck there. But that's really it. So I do want to lose slow and steady. And I think if you've been losing fast and quick, good for you. I think that it's nothing wrong with that. I think we all have to do what is, good for us. I'm 52 and not a lot is snapping back. It just is not. And so, I just have to kind of be careful with that. But and I want to get my metabolic rate up. And so it's just like it is what it is. It's so funny because I, would have never thought I'd be like any kind of broadcast at all, sharing a Dexa scan at all. And so hey, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. So I would just say to you, some people have asked me too, like, where do you get a Dexa scan? Literally, I typed into Google Dexa scans in my area. That's it. And all the Dexa scans that in Ohio, the whole Ohio came up, and I picked the one that was closer to me. And that's what you should do. Now, if you have to drive far out of town or something, you may not want to do that. I don't know. But whatever it takes for you to get one. They also talk about an in-body scan. Those are not as accurate from my understanding as a Dexa, but whatever you want to start with, I think you need like a starting place. And another thing I want to say is that people have also said, I'll wait and get a Dexa scan when I'm close to my goal. Really, the benefit is that comparison. I think you should start now if you can. Now, I know people are paying for the medication, the GLP-1s. If it's not in your budget, it's not in your budget. Check with Groupon. Sometimes they have coupons. Check before whatever place you find. I would just go on Google and scan and say, coupons for whatever the name of the Dexa scan place you go to get your scan. Your doctor can refer you to get a scan too. So if you have a PCP or if you have, a relationship with the doctor, or if I don't know if telehealth companies would do that, I'm not sure, but ask your doctor, start there. My doctor told me absolutely no. And so I have my doctor's appointment next month. Guess what? I'm rolling up in that doctor's appointment. I always say that I'm rolling in with my Dexa scan results, and you know what? She's gonna look at them. After she told me not to get one, but I know what she's going to say. I told you you didn't need a Dexa scan. Your bones were fine. And I'm going to have to let her know I'm not going because of my bones. And so we're going to really go down and go over that Dexa scan. So I'm going to see what you guys are saying in the chat. Do you guys have any questions for me about my Dexa scan? You guys see somebody who is like, I'm still obese. I'm not very obese anymore. I'm just obese, right? So, you have a person on here. You can ask me any questions about this Dexa scan. I'm not slim and trim and fit and in maintenance and ready to go, but there's somebody who is that also can answer questions from the maintenance perspective. I'm not in maintenance. So if you're, somebody that's losing and is interested in this and wants to, be on this journey with me to, lose fat while keeping your muscle, I say, come on. I kind of wanted my little shirt to show I'm just chilly, but I got this Nike t-shirt on because I want you to just do it. Like, just get the scan. Get the scan. I'm telling you, it's worth it. It is worth it. So if you have to sacrifice something else, I would do that. If you have to stop eating those protein snacks and shakes for a couple months to get that scan, do that. Because it really is worth it. I'm telling you, I was somebody who was just totally not for it. So I have somebody else. I'm going to go to the chat. I have somebody else that's going to come up and share their Dexa scan results with you, a different perspective, than just Downsizing Diva. And we will see. We will see. Okay. So the person that's going to be sharing their Dexa scan is my friend, Miss Mel to the B. Mel to the B is coming on. So let me see while we're getting her situated backstage here. I feel like that we're like at a show or something. While we're getting her situated, I'm going to go in the chat and see if you guys have anything to say. This is so funny. I just got to put this on the screen. Taisha, do you weigh yourself with no clothes on? I do. And that's one of the reasons why I don't show my actual scale, because it's a reflection And I'm not trying to do that. I can't embarrass my daughter any more than I'm already embarrassing her. Okay, so let's see. Okay, I thought skeletons were much heavier. Yes, 17 pounds for women and 23 for men. I guess that's why bones are so fragile. Yes, they're lightweight. Yes, that's very good. You're right. Bone mineral content. Yeah, okay, that's what the BMC. Thank you. Thank you, Mel. Don't forget to like the live. Everyone, like the live. We have 32 people that I can see that are watching. So like this live. Okay, so let's see. A large dog skeleton weighs 10 pounds. So I don't know how that's possible for a human skeleton to weigh less. Oh well, what do I know? Oh my goodness, that's funny. Oh my gosh, some great facts. Okay, I see. Thank you, Kim J. Sweet Healthy Life. Some experts say you shouldn't be in a deficit for more than 4 months at a time, even if the deficit is not aggressive. Yes, 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 because it's damaging. It's doing some damage, right? Um, Absolutely is so important to eat. Yes. And I'm gonna say, Mel is coming on here. Delilah, it's true. Usually about 10 to 15% of your body weight. Mel's gonna come on here and she actually is eating. Like she's eating 1,800 calories. Now look, if she's eating 1,800 calories at less, I didn't want to say she told me she was less than 120 pounds. Why are you eating 1,200? Why are you eating 15? Let's have an honest conversation here. Why are we doing that? Mel to the B, how are you?
Good. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes, I can. Okay, I'm gonna turn you up a little bit. So,
Hi.
Mel, I am so excited you came on tonight. When I said I was going to talk about my Dexa scan, I wanted to talk to you because every time it comes up in the comments, you're all on it. You're all over it. You're like, no, 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 no. This is what it is. This is what I'm doing. So yeah, I appreciate that because we all learn from each other. This is my first Dexa scan, so I'm kind of learning. And we had a conversation. Honestly, the real reason why I asked Mel, because my girl Taisha is all about this Dexa scan too. But I was having this conversation with Mel, and she said, "Downsizing Diva, I gotta disagree with you." Or did you call me Shay? I can't remember. She said, you probably had lost muscle. You just don't know because this was your first one. And I said, well, how much more could I have lost though? I said, I must have had a lot of muscle. I said, I'm going to call this guy. So in the meantime, her and I are both curious. So we're like, she asked Chat GPT. I Googled and I got my notes out. And so they say, now remember this, Mel. Remember, Mel said, Downsizing Diva, I learned something. So they say that you could be, and so the DEXA scan person told me this too, but he said if you are, obese or, very obese and you lost weight and you were doing some, you lost weight over time, like I did, slow and steady, and you were doing some strength training, and you started exercising, that you could actually lose fat and 68 pounds. At that time it was 67 without losing muscle. So it is possible. Now we don't know for exactly sure that happened with me, but he said he thinks it's very possible because my bone density and my muscle mass is so high that they don't suspect that I really lost a whole lot, and I actually probably gained because of the way I was losing and doing that strength training. And I was doing strength training. I always say I wasn't really counting it at the beginning because I just thought, oh, I'm just doing like push-ups, sit-ups, things next to my bed. I wasn't like heavy sweating and breathing hard like some people are. And I just never really counted that. But he said, no, that's helped you. And he said, and while you were doing that, you were also, stay eating. At that time, I was eating 1,800 calories when I first started. And so that's where I started to go wrong is I know when I started cutting my calories is when I was really trying to lose that 50 pounds around Thanksgiving. Yeah. And also when you go on the TDEE calculator, as you know, as you lose, you're supposed to decrease your calories. So yeah, so I can pinpoint now where I went wrong and where everything went wrong. But it was a great debate. So I thought, Mel, I got to get her on here to talk about this because
you left out one thing, Dee.
Yes, okay. Tell them.
You left out what he actually said, and I think we looked it up. I hope you're not getting the echo here, but the fact that you were not previously active and doing and lifting weights and stuff, he said that that can happen. Now you are an anomaly because it just it's rare. It's the exception. And hey, you're the diva.
I don't know. I don't know. But so yeah, so I had a history of exercising. So I would exercise and then not, and then exercise and then not. Well, before I started the GLP-1 journey, I had not really been exercising at all. And so yeah, that is so true. So it's like I came, I started and I hadn't been doing it before. So yeah, that's a good point. You sound a little far back. I don't know what it is.
Okay. How do I sound?
Okay.
Am I better?
Yeah, look, can you guys hear? You guys let me know in the chat. I can hear her, but I don't know if you guys can hear her. Darium said you're very low. He said now that's better.
Oh, is it? Okay. Let me make sure I'm good. Hang on, y'all. Okay. Am I better now, guys?
Yes.
They say yes?
They can hear you. Okay. All right.
Okay.
So Mel, so tell us your history with the Dexa scan. So what made you decide to get a Dexa scan?
Okay, so what I sent Dee Dee was a Dexa scan, my past 3 Dexa scans. And I'm sorry, my voice is a little challenged. I've been talking all day for work online in meetings, but I had a Dexa scan early last year before I started the journey. Then I started my journey, and what you see on the screen over to the right is the results, or are the results for the Liquid Vita Spa, which is where I most recently have gotten my Dexa scans. So prior to these 3, I had gotten a Dexa scan, and I was at and my lean mass was at 72. So really, I lost 2.3 and then another 2.3. And then as you see, most recently, gained muscle. I gained 2.3 pounds of muscle and then 2.3 in November. And then my most recent, which was just a couple of weeks ago, I had gained 4.2 pounds of muscle. So I was so happy. I am a petite woman. I do have small bones. I still have that's 2, but I still actually do have some curves, I would like to think. But I'm just super excited that I actually gained weight. I gained a few pounds, 2 pounds, but I also gained muscle. So I gained 2 pounds from from the previous DEXA scan, and gained 4.2 pounds of muscle. So what that's telling me is that I replace fat with muscle. So I'm super proud of that because I'm always lifting weights. Matter of fact, I got this weight right here, and I was on the downsize, and I was sitting up playing with this 20 pounds right here.
Woo, look at those biceps. So let's give her some confetti. Woo!
Yeah, give me
Yay, Mel. I love that.
Give it to me. I've been working hard. But so I'm super thrilled at that. And I think for me, the primary reason why I got the DEXA scan was really because I was watching a lot of doctors, and I love Mind Pump, which is a YouTube channel. But what I love about the DEXA scan is it definitely helped me to adjust my strategy when it came to how I was eating. And I, for one, am understanding, and I understood last year that I had to eat more. And I think I've sent some pictures to you. I copied Taisha. I found her last year, and I saw that she was taking photos, and I thought, you know what, that's a good idea. Now, I'm not a creator, so obviously I wasn't posting them, but literally in my phone, I have pictures of my dinner. I generally don't take pictures of what I eat earlier in the day, my brunch, because I usually don't eat breakfast, but I eat a nice big brunch. But I did realize during this journey that while I was eating 1,000 to 1,200 calories, that I had lost a whole lot of weight, but a whole lot of muscle. And that's when I adjusted my strategy early on. So anyway, I'm super excited. I think that.
So wait, so tell us, so you said you lost a lot of muscle early on. And so you adjusted your strategy. So what were you doing before that, and what are you doing different? Tell us that strategy. We want to know.
Well, I was excited to just, not be as hungry. My testimony is that I lost 36 pounds. It was weight that I struggled with, especially over COVID and perimenopause and menopause, even though, by the way, I had already gone through menopause because I had a total abdominal hysterectomy in my 30s, but I still had that middle age weight. And remember, guys, menopause can last forever. Like it can last in perpetuity, 20 years. And at the time, I wasn't really keyed in on my hormones. So I was carrying all of this visceral fat. And because the Dexa scan really broke down what was fat, what was muscle, and what was bone. And it told me exactly how much lean mass I had versus fat. And I was way too much fat. And I'm still working on my fat levels, but I'm not obsessed about it. Like, I'm very happy where I am right now. I feel great. But there's still some areas of my body that I have more fat than what I think is optimum. But the bottom line is, if you're losing weight, but muscle is dropping instead of fat, that is a sign that your deficit is too steep. You need to eat more. That's what Arnold, that's my Dexa scan guy for the last 3 times. That's what he shared with me. The Dexa scan also tracks visceral fat. Visceral fat is toxic because it's the fat around your midsection. I was very proud to work on that. Like I said, that's why I carried a lot of my weight. And it's dangerous. It's very, very dangerous. And that matters because if you drop visceral fat, don't worry about the scale so much. If you go get a Dexa scan and you have that baseline, and then 3 months later you go back and your visceral fat has dropped, you should be very happy, because what that means is that somewhere in there, and most likely they're going to tell you that you've gained some muscle. So very, very important. And I think the other thing I wanted to notate, pardon me just a second, Alexa, turn the AC to 73. I got it at 77 degrees. I live in South Florida. Yeah.
Wait, tell Alexa to turn your light up a little bit. Well, you look so dark.
I do?
No, you don't look dark, but the background looks dark.
Alexa, turn the lights to 60%. Okay. Alexa.
Okay, thank you, Alexa.
Okay. Now she's responding to you. Okay.
Okay.
So the RMR, my RMR was 1326 the last time I took it. This time they wanted to charge $199. And I was like,
$199.
Yes. I said, have you bumped your head? Like, no. So the last time I had my RMR, it was 1326, which for me I believe is good. I mean,
for you. Yeah, it's all, that's what I like. It's right. This is why the test is so great, because it's customized. There's no one size fits all. It's for you and your body. At my weight, my RMR was just too low. And so the message we want to get out there, her Alexa was responding to me. My dad does that too. My daughter's always in the background telling it to do stuff. So that's why I wanted to get this message out about, the eating more is okay to eat more. If you're doing all the other things, it's going to fall into place. And so, I still lost weight last week, even though I increased those calories. And I think, my body is probably recovering, because I probably some days was in starvation mode, because there's some times where I didn't get in the 1,500 calories, and then I call myself balancing it out later on in the week or whatever. But I think somebody wrote this in the comments too, and we'll go back and look at the comments. But someone said in the comments, as I glanced over, they were saying maybe the reason why I had been doing so well with my weight loss is because I wasn't maintaining my muscle and my bone density, is because I was never in starvation mode. And so that's probably why, yeah, I've never really dropped down. And I wanted to, because I wanted to lose faster, but something just told me, like, no, you just got to eat. Because what told me, I'm not going to say something. My goal has always been to eventually be able to maintain off the medication at some point. And I thought, I'm never going to survive off this medication eating 1,200 calories, because I wouldn't eat that little bit of an amount. So I thought, I'm going to eat as many calories as I can, so I'll have a better chance of survival off these medications. And so now, just the inflammation, not having that inflammation, I think that's what's probably going to keep me on long term, even if it's a micro dose or something. I don't know. Who knows? I mean, I still have a lot to lose. But that was my thinking. And I'm glad I was thinking that way, because in the big scheme of things, it has really helped.
I was impressed. I mean, that's why we had that long conversation, that debate. But one thing I was going to also remind people of, and most people know this, I just don't think people take it as serious as they should, because people sometimes, and I completely get it, this is definitely not judgment, because I did the same thing. People are so enamored with the pounds coming off and looking at the scale, that they're forgetting that muscle burns fat at a much, I think it's maybe 10 times, I'm not sure of the number, but I believe it is a fact that muscle burns more fat and calories. You will lose more weight if you are eating enough protein, because remember, you have to feed your muscles. Doing resistance training, you're going to build muscle, and it's going to burn the fat quicker. It's just fat. And so even if you have bands, you don't have to pick up a 20-pound weight, but do some bands. I literally thought, look at this, guys. Look, I fell, and this is an anecdotal reason why I believe eating enough protein helps. Because I eat a ton of protein, and Dee Dee has seen my meals, and I do resistance strength training. Last Friday morning, I was doing my strength training class, and I was doing step-ups with weights, with about 40 pounds of weights. I stepped down, and because I had on the wrong shoes that day, I literally stepped down and fell. And I was like, oh my God. Now, mind you, the man that works out next to me, strength training, because these are not little pink weights. Little pink weights are not going to help us. I'm sorry. Sorry. But he happens to be an orthopedic surgeon, Alan, shout out to Dr. Alan O'Routsman. And he ran over, and I was like, oh my God, did I break it? Because I've broken a foot and a wrist before. And he asked me to do some things. We determined I probably hadn't. I got an x-ray this past Saturday morning, had not fractured anything. And I believe that because of the weight training I've been doing, the strength training I've been doing this past year, the protein, which helps your muscle, what's called muscle hypertrophy, which means what you can see, the muscle you can see.
Right.
See? A little bit, right? But I still got a little flab there, but whatever. Like that's obnoxious. I'm sorry, guys. But my point is because of the balance, the strength, the eating enough, the protein, I didn't have a fracture. And I rolled over. It was like Wonder Woman, because the way I rolled over and caught my balance and the strength of my bones.
And how old are you, ma'am?
I am 57.
57? You're 57? And I'm telling you, a lot of 57-year-old women 50-year-old women aren't bouncing up like that after a fall. A fall is what starts people on that downward spiral when they get over 50. And it's related to your bones. It's related to having osteoporosis, having poor bone health, having poor bone density. And I just know so many people, and we talked about the facts of it. The research says so many people, within that, how many years, Mel, they don't make it after that first fall.
Yep.
It's unfortunate, but it's true. And so, if that's the message we want to get out, that, I don't want people to just go get a Dexa scan, though. I want people to get a Dexa scan and do something with it, right? You do something with it. Take the information in the Dexa scan and actually use it, because I could have been like, oh, I know I need to lose fat. Oh, I know, I'm so happy my bone density is great and my muscle mass is great. I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. And I could have just ignored the eat more calories, but I'm not going to do that, because, I want to see progress, and I don't want to go there and they say, well, we told you to do A, B, and C, and you just did A. That's why you're not seeing the result. I want to be able to do A, B, and C,
Yeah.
and and see, what's going to happen. I'm like looking forward to it. Going back for that Dexa scan.
I am so excited for you. But yeah, I think that definitely helped me. That definitely helped me. I, I just was, I'm, that to me is a really good example of why. And I think perfectly Pamela, I loved her video where she talked about eating more and the fact that she didn't have energy to do a lot, that she was feeling sluggish because she
Yeah.
wasn't eating as much. And now she's slowly but surely increasing her calories. And so that, you got it, girl. You got it. And you look great, by the way, Pam. And obviously, Taisha, like, I can talk about her forever. And I think, and I've got several years on Taisha, 10 years or so. I'm not sure about Pamela, but yeah, we got to do better, guys, especially as women of color. No offense to anybody else, but, or any other race. I come from a mixed heritage background. I am Black, but I'm just saying, my background is mixed. And, I think that we have to take better care of ourselves. That's what I'll say. That's what I'll say. We have to take better care of ourselves. And by the way, my white women, I love y'all. I have a grandmother who is Caucasian, bones, very, very weak, more likely to get osteoporosis and be diagnosed with early onset of osteopenia, which is like pre-osteoporosis. So you guys got to think about that as well. And don't pick up the pink weights. Eat your protein.
Well, we're going to go back in the chat, but before we go in the chat, I just got to highlight this and give Mel her props. Mel, you look great. Let's give her the confetti again. Yes, yes, yes. You look great. And I know you feel as good as you look. You're like a ball of energy, too. You have that ball of energy going on. So we love that. So you are hashtag goals, goals. And then I do want to highlight Pam, too, Perfectly Pamela, because when I watched her video, it just touched me, because I just thought, like, wow, what a great message to send to people. And somebody who said they were like tired. She knew she hadn't been eating a lot. And I shared her video on my community post. I don't know if they're calling it a community post. And I don't really share lots of videos on my community post, but I had to share that one because I just thought it's a real message that I really wanted people to get out. And I'm kind of going through the same thing she is. We're similar in this way at this point in our journey, because we both are needing to eat more and afraid to, but know we need to, right? We know we need to eat more. And so I just thought that was so cool, that video she made. And it just made me want to, it just kind of, it just kind of solidified for me, like I'm doing the right thing for myself, right? By adding these calories and, trying to step up everything. I'm just stepping up my game altogether, right? With everything. All right, so let's go into the chat. What are you guys saying in the chat? Let's see. Oh, Felicia. Oh, we got some. This makes me so happy. She said, I'm definitely going to schedule a Dexa scan next month. Yes. Woo-hoo-hoo. I'm so excited about that. Okay, I'm going up in the chat. We're way up here, Mel, with some stuff. Okay, let me see. All right, let's see. Okay. Here we go, Mel. Simply to oh wait, add me to the increasing my calories after meeting with a dietitian club. Oh, the
Oh,
dietitian told you to increase too. All right, but how much, Bobby? How much did they tell you? My RMR is only 1,308, and I shoot for 1,800 calories a day. Okay, very good. So you're trying to get that up.
yeah.
I love that. Hi, Erica. How are you? It's never too late. I'll definitely rewatch the beginning because this is something that I really need to understand and see if increasing calories really work. Well, if you're in a stall, I think it really will. If you're in a stall, it for sure will. I wasn't in a stall, so this is interesting for me. I'm just like, I feel like I'm like a what do you call those people that are like test people? I feel like this will be a test because I was not in a stall. So we'll
You're in,
see if I keep
you're in your
losing.
clinical trial, Dee Dee. Your own
My
clinical.
who? My home clinical trial. Okay, we'll take that. I can tell you how many brown velvet. Hey, brown velvet. I can't tell you how many times I've gone to the doctor asking about losing weight, and the doctor told me to eat 1,200 calories. I'm 5'10" and I ain't never been skinny. 1,200 was never enough for me. Yes, that's that old school thinking. I bet you that's that old school thinking from your doctor trying to get you to cut things down. I also think it's like a cycle though, because you go down to 1,200, right? You lose whatever you need to lose, and then that's why as soon as you start eating back to, let's say your normal was 1,800 to 2,000, now of course you're going to gain weight because now you're back at that weight. So we have to learn how to lose still while eating those higher calories, right? So yeah, and that's why your metabolism gets also messed up because you're up and down, up and down. It's like a roller coaster. We want to get off the ride. We want to get off the ride. Simply Taisha, that is a good RMR for your body structure. Hey, Bellflower. I'm sure we all have different ones. So Taisha, what did they tell you yours should be? What was the goal? Delilah says exactly, Mel B, which is why 6 pounds make no sense to me for an adult. 10 to 15% is going to be on the lower end and a 60-pound body. Taisha, my RMR was 1,300 and my goal is 1,500 calories, but of course to lose weight. Okay, 1,300 something, and my goal is 1,500 calories, but of course to lose weight. Okay, 15 still seems slow. The same, Dr. B, because I'm thinking about it, and Mel, aren't you eating closer to 1,800? What are you eating?
Yeah, I'm eating 1,900. I sent Kim. Kim knows how much I eat. I sent her my meals as well. Like I'm getting it in. Most of my plate is protein and then a bunch of veggies. But I eat the thing I need to do more of is put some more fat into my some healthy fat into my diet. But yeah, I'm eating 1,900 a day for sure.
Well,
Yep.
you're getting that avocado in too. That's a great healthy fat. I think you're eating that with each meal, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's like at least three a day. So Delilah, same Dr. B, my favorite PhD. I up my calories after I first met with my dietitian. At least I try my best to do so. Okay, very good. Yeah, all we can do is try, that you get closer to your goal. You set a goal, you reach that, you set another goal, you reach that, and eventually you'll get there. My doctor, Felicia says, and dietitian told me 1,500 was too low for me, and I started losing my hair. Now I'm at 1,800, and my hair is growing again. Another testimony. Yes, yes, yes. Let's give her some confetti. I love that. Yay! I love that. And she's also getting a Dexa scan, so more confetti. I love it. All right, very good. So there we have a testimony right there. Taisha says, Bellflower, I'm not sure. I have a physical tomorrow with my non-VA provider, and I'll chat with her about it. I'll definitely let you know what she says. Okay. Dee Dee, sometimes goals can change the goal. If you have to, there's nothing wrong with that. When I was talking about my 100 pounds, oh, for sure. Yeah, I definitely will change if I need to. But thank you for that, Bev. You might not hit that goal, but I bet you're going to avoid a stall from being in a deficit for too long. Yes, 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 for sure. 2.0 mommy. I'm sorry, Delilah, not BMD. Didi is talking about the BMC. So is Taisha. Okay. I'm over here finding ways to up my RMR to burn more at rest. Hopefully, the things I'm putting into place will help a lot. Over 100 grams of protein, increasing strength training. But I also, that's great too. Let's give her some confetti. I also think upping those calories might not hurt too. Instead of 1,500, maybe try 1,600 or 1,700. Dare I say 1,800? Kim's like, oh no, we're not doing that. Okay, okay. Delilah, okay. Okay, let's see. I finally found a place for that it's an hour from you that does the Dexa scan for $90. So I'll be going in a couple of weeks. Well, guess what she gets? Confetti, confetti. I love it. Good job. Good job. I love this. I'm so excited. All right, very good. So let's see, who do we have next? Taisha, she's saying, I get an order from my doctor since I found out that my mammogram center does them. Very good. So your doctor is doing that for you. Very good. Kim says, yes, I agree. I feel it's beneficial if you can get a DEXA as early as possible to have something to compare how great you are doing. We are working diligently. Inquiring minds want to know. Yes, 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 I agree. And I will say, I don't regret because like I said, I really wasn't into it. I like where I'm at now. I can't imagine what it would have been, that visceral fat after 67 pounds. So I would love to know how much of that I'd lost. But yeah, I think wherever you're at in your journey. So I don't want people to say though, I'm going to wait till I lose 50 pounds and go, or I'm going to wait until I lose, because really you want the data now so that when you do lose additional weight, you have that, that start point. You want your start point to be as close to today as you can get it. Or should I say tomorrow, since today's almost over.
Yeah.
It is worth it if you can afford it. Yes, yes, yes. It's Darian. Let's see. Okay. This is my kind of live. I love the data. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, thank you. Okay, let's see. What did he say? Come through, Mel B. I'm definitely okay. We gave her confetti. She's going. What is 17 pounds for women? 17 pounds. What is she asking? Do you know?
Something else, something that somebody said.
Okay, okay. I don't know. I don't show the scale either because of the reflection. Although I have a shirt on, I don't want my undies over the neck. 17 pounds is the average weight of a female human skeleton, Taisha. Dry bones weighed after passing. Okay, okay.
And Dee, can I just add to that
Yes.
BMC is bone mineral content. BMD is bone mineral density.
Density, okay.
The central DEXA scan, which is the one that measures your bone density, your femoral bones and your hips and all of that. And the BioDEXA, which is the peripheral DEXA, that one is the one that actually goes into the lean muscle mass, the visceral fat, and all of that. So those are two very different and distinct ones. I've had both. I did have a regular DEXA scan, which are located in hospitals and medical offices, versus the DEXA scans that we are talking about now, which I know most people know, but I just want to clarify. The ones that we're talking about are called the BioDEXA, and those are at like med spas, sports medicine clinics, and places like that. So.
Yes, thank you. That was a great clarification too. All right. Let's see. Bone mineral density refers to the amount of calcium or the minerals in your bone, essentially a measure of bone density. Okay, very good. Thank you. And people are telling Mel B how gorgeous she is. So nice to meet you, says Bobby. Isn't that nice to put a face to someone that you've been talking to in the chat? The DEXA scan is not weighing your actual bones. Thank you for that clarification. Yes, I figured that out later than my response was submitted, which is why I'm ashamed of being fashionably late, Taisha. I missed the topic. Oh, that's okay. Okay, so people are giving her compliments. I love the Chat GTP lab analysis. Mel B got that mood lighting. You guys are so funny.
Or is it light enough?
It's light enough. It's it's good. I worked with a family practice doctor in the early 2000s. Dr. Jeffrey would fuss at the patients, a woman, about being overweight. One day he told women that they are overweight have stronger bones. One day he told me women that he told you that women who are overweight have stronger bones. Okay. True. Happened to me. I have gained muscle every DEXA, and I was strength training for over a year before I even started Zepbound. Okay, very good. Wow, okay. Oh, so we have another testimony up in here. All right, let's see. All right, so Taisha said, do you think it's possible since she didn't get it into a severe deficit?
And that's what you had said, Dee Dee. You answered after that, but yeah, Taisha was right on point. She was right on point. Yeah, as usual.
Per usual. And thin women are at risk for osteoporosis. I said, why are you fussing at these women? Ha ha. Yes. All right. The people saying they can hear. Was it male? I don't know. Okay, let's scroll down. People are saying good night to Jill. People love your did you see these comments about the biceps?
Thank you.
We love them. Let's see. Kim is saying your goals. And now you're just showing out, says Taisha. You should be a content creator. You have a wealth of knowledge. I love that. This is really inspiring.
And I've said this to Dee Dee and probably a couple of other my friends. What I don't have is a wealth of patience. And I would, I'm a very sweet, kind person, but y'all don't want me to be a content creator.
You be telling folks off, blocking people out of the comments. Bobby says, this is really inspiring. Gaining muscle is no small feat. Yes. We would agree. Agreed, Taish, Tia, and Mel. She is very knowledgeable about a lot of things, brains and beauty, and strong. Okay, very good. Brains and built. I just, did you see Darian's comment?
No. What did he have? Let me hear.
He said you paid the light bill. Oh my goodness. My Alexa was responding to you both. That is so funny. I love it. Okay. Let's see. Yes, I'm with you. Oh no, you didn't, KD. All right, let's see. Any other questions? I love I love seeing how excited the two of you are about this topic. I love it. Yes, we are. We love it too. Absolutely. Strength training with high protein is so important. Yes. Agreed, Taisha. It's so cool to watch the passion. Start with little pink weights and progress. I don't use them anymore either. LOL. Yes. Okay. Is Dr. Allen single? Who is Dr. Allen? Is that
Who else asked me that? Was it you or was it Taisha? I think it was Taisha because I was talking to her about what had happened and she was like, so I don't know what she asked. And my mom too. So of course, Jen F is going to ask. He's the orthopedic surgeon that works out next to me. I'm not sure. I think I really don't know if he's married or not. I have his cell phone number though, because he gave it to me and asked me to check in with them and blah, blah, blah. I'll see him on Friday.
Did he have on a ring? Even though that's not always
working out. So I wouldn't expect it because Yeah. So, but he's so nice. Such a nice man. Dr. Arautman. Alan Arautman. So nice. Thanks, Jen.
All right. I love that. And I don't know I think they're having a sidebar conversation. Amen. I agree. You failed 2 months ago. Oh my, people are all saying you don't look 57 at all. Yes. We love that, Mel.
Kids, guys, either. So the stress of having children. Well, thank you, Keisha. Love you, girl. I think the stress of not having, or the lack of stress because I don't have kids. My sister does, and she's 51. And usually people think I'm younger than her. And one guy said to us, it's like you got that worry. He was like, one of you don't have kids, do you? And I was like, no. He says, because you have that like that freedom in your face. So I guess I have that freedom in my face. But Yeah, which is usually
And
why
you
I date men who are younger, just because, you know, that's who likes me.
tries to talk to you. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's right.
Oh, so Jerlene, I think Jerlene said she failed 2 months ago. Jerlene. And then she said she had an MRI. She was so grateful she didn't have any broken bones. Good, 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 good. I love that. Very good. I'm so glad. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Okay, here's a good comment from Darian. Look at Mel B giving the PSAs. Love that.
There.
Let's see. Pamela Snack Box's video is sparking ideas for how I'm going to eat more. Okay, very good. I love that. Thank you, Dee Dee. Appreciate you so much. Oh, of course, of course. Yes, at my first DEXA, they told me women of color tend to have higher bone density, extra important for everyone, especially those more prone to osteoporosis, strength bones, and muscle. Okay, very good, very good. I love that. Yeah, women of color. We always have everything. Like, don't you? The people of color, everything we get. It's the worst. It's the worst. Like
No,
colonoscopies. I remember.
we have heavier bones though. That we have. Women,
We do.
Caucasian women tend to have smaller bones, or more prone to osteoporosis. Yeah,
So we
for
get
sure.
one for the record books.
One. We got one.
But yeah, you know how they tell you to take all these, the different tests for markers. We're always told to take them earlier because, early detection is key. And we are, more prone to get a lot of things. So it's like, geez, Louise. I was shooting for 1,500 calories, but really eating an average of 1,400. Yes, dietitian told me to at least eat 1,700 calories. Very good. Very good. Yeah, then we're gonna have this message out. Dee Dee said eat more calories, and then we're gonna be having so many people losing even more weight. Doctor said mine was normal, but I wanted more information regarding the results. Okay. Yeah, did you ask to see a report, or they just like read it to you? Because you should be able to go in your files, but you just have to understand it. That's the thing. Let's see. Oh, you see your doctor May 5th. So yeah, you want to see you want them to go over that report step by step. 1,200 is not sustainable, says Perfectly Pamela. So we end up putting the weight back on and then some. Yes, exactly. And that's what I did not want to do. 1,500 calories have been good for me. The doc told me my RMR should be 1,600 to 1,800. Edie, how many calories do you want me to eat? Let me know. 1,600 to 1,800.
You're
That's
about
what you should be in that range.
exactly. Miss Kimberly, you are burning 16 to 800 calories doing this. Literally doing nothing. You are burning 16 to 800, sis. You know that, but I digress. As you would tell me, digress, Mel. I'm going to digress, but you know
No,
what?
she said sure. I thought she said her RMR was
Oh, it
didn't
was
she
low.
say it was 1,300?
Oh, my
Her
bad.
RMR was around yours, so it needs to be higher. That's why I think she should eat more calories.
I do too.
But
Either way.
yeah, and I think you'll be fine. It just sounds scary, and you're used to that. But maybe just add like 100 more. So add six. So do the 1,600, and if you're still losing, then you could do the 1,700, and then get to the 1,800. So I don't know. But I did ask, what did your doctor say? I'm not sure what your doctor said. Congrats on all the wins. Thank you. Thank you. I don't just eat 1,500 calories per my tracker. I can eat 14 to 1,700. It just depends on the day. But one thing's for sure, I eat male to the B. You don't look like you are convinced.
Okay.
Okay, okay, okay. Let's see. Thank you, Mel. That one had that. Oh, the one I had was the BMD. So the density, right?
Okay. Which is important as well. You know, that T score, making sure it's good is very, very important. Um, Dee Dee, remember I told you that, well, I don't know, did I mention to you that I had a checklist of things, that of signs that you might be eating too little during your weight loss?
No, before we get into that though, is there anything, let's do that. We have a super chat from Bellflower, but let me ask, is there anything else you wanted me to share from your, what you
Dex,
sent me, your Dexa?
no, I'm happy.
Okay. Bellflower, thank you. Let's give her some, let's do the other one. I don't know how this is going to work. Let's see.
Well, Mike is.
I love that. Did you hear that? Did you hear that, Mel?
Yeah, no,
All
I
right,
didn't.
so she says, this information sharing is the best. You guys are amazing. Thank you. We appreciate that. Thank you. All right, so Mel, we're gonna keep that up there. Mel, you're gonna give us
The
a
checklist.
checklist to let you know if you're not eating enough, right?
Yes, these are
Okay.
signs too little during weight loss. The first one is you're constantly exhausted even after you've had a good night's rest. Your workouts feel much harder all of a sudden, and you're getting weaker instead of stronger. You're very cold all the time, and you, okay? And you're losing strength or muscle, not just fat. Your weight loss has stalled for weeks despite low calories. You're having intense cravings or starting to have binge episodes. Your sleep is actually getting worse. And then the last two, your mood feels irritable or somehow depressed, and your hair or skin is looking less healthy. So that is the checklist for signs that you might be eating too little.
All right. Okay. All right. Jeez Louise. All right, thank you for that. I think that was a good list. I am falling into that cold category, but I've always been cold.
Me too.
Even when I was probably eating 3,000, 4,000 calories, I was still cold. All right, so we went down, we skipped to our super chat, of course. Okay, let me see. Let me go back. See how far. Can you see the comments, Mel?
Yeah, I can see them. I have like four devices: my laptop, iPad, my cell phone, and the TV right here. Just doing the most. Yeah. Oops. My bad. Okay. Yeah, I can see them. I'm turning.
Okay, wait. If you see a question, let me know. Hashtag team no patience. Taisha, you have more patience than you realize. I think you do. Chaos creator for the win. This Dario, he just wants to get at you, Mel to the B.
I know.
Hey, oh, look at this beautiful pic. Hey, Miss B. I love that name. I bet he didn't want you to check in. I think, are you okay? Mel's not frozen. Yes, Tia, start with the pink weights if you must, but move up ASAP if you want to build for real. Oh, Miss Jolene. Miss Jolene is okay now. I think they mean Mel is giving rich auntie vibes. Who's giving rich auntie vibes? Is it Mel? Yes.
I'm an auntie.
Yes. I love it. I love it. We are glad you're okay, Miss Jolene. Okay. Yes, us women of color fall into perimenopause sooner. Yes, and more intense symptoms than Caucasian women will. Yes. We have to be on top of it. I just saw my first Zepbound commercial on TV. Oh, really? I don't think I've seen that yet. All right, Kim. Kim, 13 something. I'm never scared of eating what I need to eat. Okay, yes, ma'am. It's pretty awesome. Okay, let's see. Every time you speak to me, a commercial comes on. It's a sign from above. That is too funny. Let's see. Self-edit, Kim. Thanks, Mel B, with giving us tools to make sure we are consuming enough calories. Yeah, I thought that was cool too. Yeah, my extremities have been very cold since 2020. And Miss Jolene said, I'm freezing now. Miss Jolene, do you know how many calories you're eating? Who knows how many calories they're eating? Can you put that in the chat for us? How many are you eating? So Mel's eating how much? How many?
1,800 is probably
1,800. And my goal is 1,800 to get to 1,800 as well. What are you guys eating? I went and got custom insoles made, and the podiatrist said that my left toes are cold while my right are normal. So what's up with the half body chills? Ah, that's interesting. All right, so here we have some calories coming in. Let's see, let's see. So we have 1,800 from Taisha. And Taisha weighs how much? 130 something. So that's what I'm saying. The people that are slimmer are eating more than the people that are trying to lose the weight. And I get that we're trying to lose the weight, but I guess my point is we have room to eat a lot more, right? We're afraid to eat more, but we really should be. Because if these ladies can maintain at 1,800, why can't we lose at 1,800? Think about it. Felicia, 1,800. Z, 17 to 1,800. Okay, very good. My weight loss twin doesn't know. Okay, you're 128 and you're eating 1,800. See, come on now. 1,400. You're upping your calories to 1,700. Great job. Let's give her some confetti. Let's give her some confetti. Yes, Dr. Bobby for the win. You're upping those calories. We love to hear it. All right, very good, very good. All right, so who else do we have on here? You're trying to eat between 14 and 15. I would add try to at least get to that 16, Beth. I'm between 14 to 16 now, so doing better, should be up to go soon. Okay, very good. So you're adding slowly but surely. That's perfect. Hey, Miss B, she says, I eat between 13 to 1,700. It averages 1,500 a day over a week. Okay, very good. 1,500. I would add at least 100 more to that. Try to get in to average to 1,600. But that's a good start. No, but not enough. You see the dietitian tomorrow. Good for you. Good for you. You have to let us know how that goes. Are the people that are eating more in maintenance? I know Mel and Taisha are. I'm not in maintenance. I still have 70 more pounds to lose. But yeah, Taisha and Mel are. So that's a good question though. Besides Dee, because I'm not in maintenance, as you guys know. Are you eating that much and you're in maintenance? But I guess, Kim, my point is if they're eating this much at their weight in the 120s and Taisha's a high 120s and Mel is the low 120s, and I don't even know, she might be a little bit under that 120. If she's eating that many and you're 50, 60 pounds more than her, shouldn't we be eating that? To me, that's like a sign that we should be eating more, even if nobody told me. If I'm just thinking about it from a numbers perspective, I feel like, okay, something is up with that. You know what I'm saying? I guess that's how I'm looking at it. In the last 2 weeks, 1 week I didn't lose any. Last week I gained 3 pounds. I weigh in again tomorrow. I'm a little concerned. Okay, we have to see how it goes tomorrow. And then, see, this is why tracking what you're doing is so important, because you can pinpoint what you're doing different, where you're going wrong. And so that's why we, say you should probably track what you're doing. Unless you just know. Sometimes you just know. Like I went out to a restaurant, I overate sodium, I did this, I did A, B, and C. But if you're doing everything the same, then maybe it's just you gain water, maybe your hormones, your body. So I would track that over time, not just like one time.
Hey, Dee, I was going to say, I just saw Spencer Nadosky, Docs Who Lift. He's the physician, one of the physicians that runs that vlog. And he was saying hormone panels are super important because he had a client who gained 20 pounds in a few weeks. And we can reference something that Taisha just went through, although her thing was different and she lost it back really quickly. But hormone panels are really important because he found out that this client of his who gained 20 pounds in a few weeks, that it was water and inflammation, and she had a thyroid imbalance. And anyway, she ended up starting bioidentical hormone therapy. Everybody knows how I feel about hormone replacement therapy. It's important. It keeps you juicy. It keeps your skin moist as you age. It helps keep you look looking younger longer. It's great for cardiovascular health. So get your hormones checked. If you don't want to take hormone replacement therapy, fine, but it may give you some answers as to why you might be losing slowly or maybe end up even gaining weight. So just saying, if you haven't. I think Bev has, but
Yeah, and for women also get your thyroid checked too. That's another thing that sometimes women have either, a hypo thyroid issue or hyper. And, whatever's going on with your thyroid, that's going to affect your weight loss. Whatever's going on with those hormones are also going to affect your weight loss. So, but that's just the last 2 weeks. 1 week I didn't lose any and then you gained 3. I would just give it a month and see what happens. I know we hate to hear that because it seems like a long time, but it could be other things going on, Bev, that your body is getting adjusted to. Jerlene is down. Okay, very good. 291 to 230. You are coming down. You are coming down. Let's give her that confetti. Yes, I love that. Thank you for sharing. Very good. Nice job. Doesn't this? I bet you feel good. Like that's about what? A good 60 pounds off?
yeah.
Yes, geez Louise, I love that. All right, let's see. 1,200 average calories per week. Okay, you want us to do that math. Thank you for sharing. You're not in maintenance. Okay, very good. You're not in maintenance. Okay. Kim J, have you spoken to a dietitian to create a plan for you? Your dietitian can calculate your comorbidities, me and that word, as well. Okay. All right, Kim. So, King
Kim
Darian
said,
has
Kim
spoken.
she says, I digress. That's what Kim's response was, that she digresses.
To
She's
that
like,
comment that he just made. I am pushing myself to eat more since I am essentially in maintenance. Okay, very good. Very good. So yeah, I'm sure it's hard in maintenance, even more so. Agreed, Darian. This is incredibly important to have a personalized plan. Okay, Z is not in maintenance. Still have around 60 pounds to get rid of, and I want to lose 70 at least. Okay, Kim, that's her I digress comment. Felicia, I am not in maintenance and I lose 1 to 2 pounds a week at 1,800.
great.
Yes. And how can you share how much you weigh? Because I just want everybody to like get an idea of these weights, like that it's okay to eat more. It really is. Um, okay, let's see. What are you guys saying? Let's give her some confetti. Isn't that awesome? Jeez Louise, you're doing so well. And she's not in maintenance. So we got that. She's not in maintenance. Okay. All right. I'm not maintenance, but my body thinks it is, which is why I'm stuck. Okay. So I would say you have to tweak what you're doing then, D, for sure. Yes, HRT for the win. However, thyroid medication isn't just for us in post-menopause. Okay, very good. Yes.
Sure.
Kim says, I haven't spoken to, yes, Darian, I have spoken to 3 dietitians, doctors, along with a weight loss doctor, and we decided how much I should eat. Okay, Kim. All right. Let them know. Let them know. Yes. Way to go, Jerlene. Go, Jerlene. Go, Jerlene. All right. That's all that matters, Kim. Good for you. Delilah had a very good video. I saw this morning. It's not about the number of calories, but it's where those calories come from. 1,500 calories of cookies is not equal to 1,500 calories of veggies. Yes, 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 for sure. I don't even know if you could eat 1,500 calories worth of veggies. That'd be a lot, like a whole lot. I also speak to a healthcare manager nurse with my insurance company. He was like, I'm dotting the I's and crossing the T's. She said, yes, in less than 6 months, I want to lose slower. Okay, all right, very good. That's good, though. Very good. All right, all right. No, I'm not digressing to Darian's comment. She responded to something you said, Kim? I mean, Mel. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. I'm not. I kind of skipped over some comments that were just kind of like, the hellos or whatever back and forth. No, I'm not trying to do any math. It's because I have many days I don't eat much, but the others I make it for it. I have a weekly calorie intake. Okay, very good. So, what are you going to do, Delilah, if you're stuck? What are you adjusting to get yourself unstuck? And that's the question for you tonight. How about that? It's okay. I used to folk digressing from me. I'm used to folk digressing. You guys are so funny. All right. Felicia, her starting weight was 325. Now she's 265. Jeez Louise, you are doing great. I love that. Very good. And you're eating 1,800 calories and you're 265. Right on, sister. Perfectly, Pamela. Thanks. I fully believe it, even if I sometimes ignore it. Okay. I have a lot going on over here, so I make sure all the bases are covered. I'm trying to live a sweet, healthier life. Okay. All right. I love it. You are leading a sweet, healthy life. All right. Way to go, Felicia. Okay. So, anything else you want to say, Mel, before we wrap this up? I'm trying to think any more questions that I have for you. I think you did a good job of sharing your
Thank you.
Dex information. So what are your future goals with your DEXA scan? Because do you have something to work on?
I just want to maintain and not do too much. I'm working out, doing strength training, structured strength training with a coach 3 times a week for an hour, one upper, one lower, one total. And then I also, walk with the weighted vest on my walking pad every single day, except for one day this weekend. But I got right back on the horse on Monday. That being said, I don't know that I just need to make sure that I'm not going backwards in terms of getting enough calories and eating enough protein. That's it. You know,
Uh,
my goal is to just maintain my healthy lifestyle. It's about more than weight for me. So, yeah, maintain my healthy lifestyle because I feel incredible. I just feel so great. Health span. We shouldn't be looking at just our lifespan. We should be thinking about our health span. How long, like, you don't want to be you don't want to have a lifespan of 95 years, but you can't do anything for yourself. You want to have a health span. And so that's my why. That's my goal, is a health span.
a health span. I love that. And I wanted to ask you, this is like the $1,000,000 question. I always want to know from someone in maintenance. Is it harder being in maintenance than it was when you were actually going through the process of losing the weight?
For me, yeah, I lost a significant amount, probably half of what I needed to lose early on. So that was easy breezy. But I wasn't doing the right thing. This is harder because, and I don't really think I wouldn't call it hard. I think the only thing that may be considered hard would be the eating enough. That can be hard at times, but I'm also not going to stress myself. So if I have a day where I've eaten 1,500 instead of 1,800, it's not the end of the world. You just got to get back up and start
Right.
build those healthy habits. But I don't find it really losing. I didn't think was hard, and maintaining has been. It's been fun. It's been a challenge. I love a challenge. I love it. So
Yes. Well, very good. Well, thank you so much for sharing with us. I love your passion about it, all things,
thank
menopause and hormones and this DEXA scan and keeping your muscle. And before we let you go, Mel, you got to flex that muscle one last time. Look at those biceps.
you.
Yes, look at that. Look at that. Okay, no, all right, let me ask you too, since you're flexing the biceps. What has that creatine done for you? How has that helped you?
The creatine is known.
Creatine.
Yeah, creatine is known to help moisturize and drive healthy water into your muscles. And your muscles, just like other parts of your body, need that hydration to stay healthy and full and happy. And so it does give you what's known as hypertrophy. So it gives you that visible look of leanness. Now, mind you, I think I heard Taisha saying, I would like to have a little bit more non-flexing muscles, but they're not bad. I mean, I'm only like, you know what? Thank you, Jesus, for what you have given me. So I'm not going to complain about anything. But creatine is incredible. It's not just good for muscle, it's also very good for brain. And it's been proven it's the most studied supplement in the world. The most studied
The
supplement.
most studied.
Look at ADA, look at FDA, you'll see what is, just type it in, Chat GPT, Google, wherever. What is the most studied supplement? It's creatine. And now they are saying that it is wonderful, especially for women's health, dementia, helping to prevent dementia and Alzheimer's disease. So besides the muscle hypertrophy and that look, which it definitely helps with, it certainly does also help with brain health and focus and stuff like that. So yeah, I like it.
All right, very good. I love that. All right, thank you, Mel to the B. Thank you for sharing. All right, so let me see. Do we have any final comments, and then we're gonna head out of here. Let's see. Oh, she logged off. Maybe she'll be in the chat. Geraldine, what brand does she recommend? She does have a brand too. Taisha could probably put it in there because I think Taisha uses that if she's on the live still. Here it is, Geraldine. Thorn. Okay, very good. Thorn. Okay, Mel says Thorn. Yes, very good. Thank you, Mel. Thank you, Mel. All right, very good. I love this. Very good. Thank you. We're gonna end with these couple comments. I think Z put something in there. Mel, I had my blood drawn 2 weeks ago to check my hormone levels. I have my follow-up on Monday the 5th. Hopefully they put me on HRT. Oh my goodness. Well, you're going to have to let us know. We're going to give you some confetti for that, for going and looking into that. Very good. You're on it. You're on it. I love to see when people are going to their doctor and, taking care of things before they become a big problem, right? Being proactive. I love that. I love the proactivity and not just being reactive. So very good. So we'll end with thank you. Taisha says, thank you, lovely ladies. Love the conversation. We'll end with Bellflower. She says, thank you, Mel and Dee Dee. And we love Mel showing off those arms, those biceps. We love it. Thank you, Mel. Thank you, everybody. And let me just show you my shirt again. Look, it's like a just do it. That's what over here. Wait, over here. My reflection is backwards over here. That's why I wore this shirt, because I wanted to get the message out. Just do it. Get that Dexa scan. We had about 4 or 5 people that said they're getting that Dexa scan. Check out my Dexa scan video. If you have not seen it, you really want to hear me break down my calories, where I've started, where I'm going, where I'm, the whole thing. So I just love it. I just love it. I love data, and I'm actually trying to do something with it, right? So it's just not, as Chris from the Downside says, cool numbers. I love when he says that. All right. So thank you guys. Thank you for staying with me for so long. We've been on 1 hour and 48 minutes. I just love you guys. I will see you guys on Friday night. We're going to be following up our discussion that we had with Nadia Edwards. So I appreciate all you guys. Have a great rest of your week and into the weekend. And I will see you after Friday on Sunday for my weigh-in. What is going to happen with this weigh-in? I don't know, but we shall see. Thanks again. Good night. Love you guys.